Next week on Home and Away in the UK, Tane tells Jo to stop meddling in Harper's life. As Harper faces the challenge of finding somewhere else to live, she continues to be wound up by the presence of Jo. Things have been awkward between the pair on account of Jo's interest in Harper's ex-fiancée Tane, who Harper is still hung up on despite him admitting he didn't love her on the morning of their wedding. Sharing baby Archie with Tane means that Harper steering clear of him isn't a possibility. And seeing her ex heading back onto the dating scene has brought out the green-eyed monster. Not that Tane and Jo's attempts to get together have been entirely successful. During their last attempted date, Jo spotted a call coming in from Harper on Tane's phone whilst he was at the bar and declined it. Fed up of their dates constantly being interrupted, she soon came clean and Tane was annoyed at her overstepping. Meanwhile, Harper and sister Dana were surprised to learn that landlady Irene was selling her beloved beach house in order to travel the world in the wake of her Alzheimer's diagnosis. The house was quickly on the market, with Jo and Dad David amongst the interested parties attending an open house session. Unfortunately for Jo, it wasn't until she was standing in Harper's bedroom, eyeing it up for herself, that she spotted a photo of Tane and Archie and realized who lived there. Harper returned at that very moment, and awkwardness ensued. The situation wasn't made any better when Harper later came into the surf club to find Jo holding Archie briefly in order to help out Tane. Tane was concerned by the news of the beach house being on the market, and was quick to offer up his spare room to Harper and Archie. Whilst it'd be the ideal situation for Tane, having his son under his own roof, Harper couldn't think of anything worse than moving back in with her ex. Next week, as Irene and Leah sit down to map out her travel plans, Irene's phone rings. It's the real estate agent, with the news that David has made an offer on the house. Irene stumbles, as the reality of the situation suddenly hits her. Leah reminds her that it's her call to make if she wants to take her time, pack up slowly and continue with her trip planning. Then that's her choice. But Irene's all too aware that time isn't something she can take for granted. When Dana walks in and overhears Irene mentioning the offer, she's taken aback, realizing just how close Irene is to selling up. Irene assures Dana and Harper that nothing's been finalized, and admits she feels guilty about the effect her decision will have on them and Archie. Harper encourages her not to worry, to put herself first for once, and Dana agrees they'll manage, like they always do. With their blessing, Irene calls the agent back and confirms she's ready to sell. Later, Harper and Dana reflect on their next steps. Harper reveals that Tane's offered her a room at his place, but she couldn't possibly live there if he's seeing Jo. When Harper bumps into Jo talking to Marilyn in the diner, she realizes that she and David are the ones that have bought the house. Harper puts on a brave face as Jo admits she feels a little guilty, awkwardly offering some advice about the local real estate agents. Acknowledging Jo's offer to help out if needed, Harper heads out, her polite smile turning into a scowl as soon as she's out the door. Thinking she's got Harper on side, Jo decides to take matters into her own hands. Wanting to ease her guilt about buying Irene's home and picking up on Tane's unease about Harper and Archie being left in limbo, she sets about looking for a rental for Harper. But when Jo calls over at the beach house with a hot tip for a rental, Harper finally snaps, as she orders Jo to stay out of her personal life. For the last time, I don't need your help, Harper tells her. What I need is for you to get the hell out of my house. Still seething, Harper goes straight to Tane, demanding that he keep Jo well away from her business. Stung by Harper's anger, Tane makes it clear where his priorities lie. He meets with Jo and, to her disappointment, it's not a date. Instead, he tells her to stop trying to fix things. Harper's never going to forgive her or see past the negative impact she's had on her life, whether it was her fault or not. At their next boot camp, Tane suggests to Jo that it might not be a good idea her attending anymore. Pointing out that Harper often turns up, Jo snaps back, accusing him of still having unfinished business with his ex. Tane denies that the case, before going on to admit that he does like Jo and wants to see her. But he knows Harper's feelings haven't gone away and doesn't want to make things worse for her. Jo's dubious about his claim, especially since Harper herself told her to take a chance with him a few weeks back. Tane won't budge, however, as much as it pains him to say it. This is the end of the road for them. Confiding in Levi, Jo admits she can't shake the thought of what might have been. On impulse, she turns up at Tane's, telling him she understands she'll steer clear from now on. But before leaving, she plants a kiss on him, making sure he knows exactly what he's passing up. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more movie spoilers next week. Goodbye and see you again.